So the second one I want to ask you about is going to Sugar Mill at the Varner Hill plantation, man. What was that experience like? I mean, the brother who was with you, the way he would describe things and
Yeah.
talk you through it with that little slower southern
Yeah.
slang, but man, how can I say this? The level of pride, that brother, the other gentleman who was talking about his father and what his father meant to all of this, right? The level of pride and depth of understanding, man, was just, again, you had to rewind it a few times to take it in. What was that like for you?
I never, growing up in the North and then, the furthest south I've ever lived is DC. I never went to a plantation before.
Mm,
And I didn't know how that would make me feel. Like just going to a place where I'm like, this is
mm,
a place of great history of suffering where
right.
slavery was alive and active in the ways that you see in films. And it was eerie, man. It was like, it was heavy
Mm,
to be
mm,
there
mm,
and to hear those stories and to be walked through that story was very, it made it very real just to occupy that space.
yeah.
But then on top of that, to hear Sam Collins, who was the founder of the Juneteenth Legacy Project, very thoughtfully and in a historically accurate way, just describe unvarnished. This is the deal of what people dealt with. It was very sobering.
Mm.
And so it was clarifying in a way. It was intense, but it also made you realize like, man, our folks have been through a lot. And in the midst of that, they endured and they were
Yeah.
resilient.
The brother who I think it was the same brother who took you to Sugar Hill, when he said this is another bar. We are doing repair work to our own American home. Like I tell you why it's a bar because it's so simplistic, but yet so complex in terms of what he's talking about. Because right before that, he made this metaphor, I think of like fixing a plumbing in a home or something like that, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
we're doing repair work to our own American home. And I would insert that a part of what he was saying was you can't do that repair without understanding this historical path,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It was, to me, it was crystal clear. Like, yeah, we all want to move forward for sure. But if you don't get this, you cannot do the repair.
Let me tell you on so many levels how powerful that word picture and that metaphor was. Like, one, he talked about how each generation is on the deed. Who's
Yes.
responsible. And if you think about any house that anybody ever inherits, that's their responsibility to take care of that house and whatever is wrong with that house. And now there's a lot of things, especially as a house gets older, that needs. But the other thing that's so powerful is it reminds us that we all living in the same house. So now all of
Mm,
a sudden, it's not just a divisive issue that this is for Black folk or this
right.
is for
Yes.
against white people, or this is like only about the South, or this is only about Texas. It's like, nah, this is an opportunity, Juneteenth, to look at the house that was built and
Yeah.
everything that was inherited, be like, yo, I'm grateful for the house. But I'm also recognizing that same leaky ceiling, that if it don't get fixed, it's going to destroy this house. Or if I don't
Absolutely.
deal with this foundational issue, I got to get it repaired. Like, and so what that does too is it means I have to be honest because I can't pretend that a problem doesn't exist and think it's
That's
going to
right.
get better.
That's
So it
right.
gives you an opportunity to, in a way, fill with hope and perspective, say, I got to talk about the plumbing leak because if I'm going to fix it, then I got to address it. I can't just act like it doesn't exist or to think, well, I'm just going to be hope filled. So I'm just going to
That's
say
right.
it. No, it's like, it does matter. We do need to talk about this. But then lastly, that is very biblical redemptive language.
Mm, mm,
When we
mm,
talk about
mm.
the restoration of all things, right?
Yeah.
Like I think about in Jeremiah 29, when Jeremiah instructs the exile. So these are people that are not in their own land. And he says, yo, it's going to be a while. He says, the land that I'm sending you to, seek its shalom, its
Mm,
welfare, because in its welfare, you will find your own. It
yes.
tells them to build houses, right? Marry off your sons and daughters. And so what that means is he says, build up in the land. And this is a land that is oppressing you. He
Mm-hmm.
says, seek its shalom. That shalom is the Hebrew where we translate peace. Sometimes it's translated, sometimes it's welfare. And it's this
Right.
holistic well-being of everyone, which means that I can't just be bound by hate. I can't just be bound by anger. I can't just be bound by complacency. I can't just
Right.
be bound by acting like everything is cool. I
Right.
have to be bound by a sense of duty to restore the house that God has put me in.
That's
And
right.
when I do that, I am actually living out the prayer, your kingdom come, your will be
Will be
done
done.
on earth as it is in heaven. That is a call to restore all things. And I think that that's just
Yeah.
a powerful picture.
So beautifully said, man.